I'm happy I'm here. Thanks to Dad and Mom for taking Chavez and me to Mount Rushmore.
After we destroy the world, and then thousands of years from now, space aliens land on Earth, if they find this monument, they'll wonder, hey, this planet must have been inhabited at one time. What do these faces mean? Is that the statue of their gods?
Mount Rushmore is an amazing work of art with huge historical significance, and I'm so happy to be here.
George Washington was our first president. He won the Revolutionary War. The 16th president was Abraham Lincoln. He was president during the Civil War, and he freed the slaves. Thomas Jefferson was our third president, and he did the Declaration of Independence. And then Roosevelt was the person who started the national park system and was real interested in conservation.
Some people wanted Ronald Reagan added to this, but I don't think they should do that. This has been a finished monument for years. I think they should leave it as a finished monument, and if they want to have a monument to other presidents like Reagan, they should get their own monument.
So no monument for Trump?
Well, you could have a monument for Trump, but it shouldn't be part of this one. This has been a finished monument for years. It should remain as it is. If you want other monuments to other presidents, give them their own monuments. Don't change this one. I think she looks really good here in that yellow dress.
So we're at Crazy Horse Monument, Dad. What's this thing all about? Who is Crazy Horse?
He was a famous Indian chief. He was one of the leaders of the Indians when they were fighting against the U.S. cavalry, and he helped plan a lot of their battles, and he was considered very intelligent. His tactics that he used are studied at West Point when they study famous battles in history. We train our officers at West Point, and they study all kinds of famous battles, and they do study some of the things that he did. You know, when they found gold in the Black Hills, then they said, well, now we want your land again. After we gave them the Black Hills, you know how we broke every treaty. It wasn't the Indians that broke the treaty, it was us. We kept pushing them off their land. And what do you think would happen now if you found oil on their land? Oh, we want that oil. We got to move the reservation somewhere else. We're going to move you down to Nebraska because we want your land. You know how that goes. And they let the whites violate the treaties. They had treaties white men aren't supposed to go in there, but they let them go in there. And then when they had so many white men in there, families going in there and settling and miners going in, then they said, well, there's so many whites in there and they want that land. We got to take it away from the Indian. We don't want to make all these white people mad. Because they're already there, but they weren't supposed to be there. They were there illegally, just like the illegal aliens. It's just like, that's what's happening right now. They're saying, well, they're already here, and they've been here. They got jobs, they got families. Let's just let them stay. And then more come. And then you're in the same boat over and over again, and we're just letting them come in and letting them come in. That's what happened on the Indian reservations. The whites didn't belong there, but if they had good land or gold or whatever, something the whites wanted, they just flooded there. They didn't obey the treaties and the U.S. cavalry and whatever, the army and all that. They didn't enforce the treaties against the whites. Yeah, if an Indian guy broke the treaty, yeah, we'll take this guy and put him on trial. If he's lucky, he gets a trial. But if a white guy broke the treaty, well, no big deal there, just let him go. It's just like a guy that promises to love his wife all his life and then he goes out and cheats on her. They don't keep their word. People don't have a high enough morals that when they give their word it means something, and that was like us. We give these treaties, but then we break them all.
I wasn't particular picking out anybody except the enemy. They were the enemy, so were the Japanese the enemy. Why I kind of leaned toward I was qualified to be a pilot, a navigator, or a bombardier. And then later on, when they came out with the B-29 and B-29 engineer, and that's when I was going to classes at when the war ended. I was in classes studying to become a B-29 engineer. I was qualified for all these things, and I kind of leaned, my preference was kind of be a bombardier. Why? because I wanted to hit where I'm supposed to hit, and I figured I'd be good at it. You know, guiding those, you know, hitting the target. That was my reason. It didn't make any difference as long as it was the enemy. Naturally, you were fighting to destroy the enemy to win the war.
What did your dad do during World War I?
I don't really know. He did not get over and see action. He was in New York, loading on a ship that was going to take him over there when the war ended. Then everything stopped right there, so he never got overseas. But he get ready to go. They were loading him in New York, in the harbor, to take him over there. And when the war ended, so then of course that stopped everything.
Well,
didn't go.
Since your father was a German, do you think he would have been conflicted fighting against Germans?
I don't know. I wasn't in existence then. So I don't know what it. My dad was a very intelligent man. My dad gave us orders. We speak English now. We are Americans now, and English is the language. We speak English at home. We don't speak German anymore, no.
We're in Rapid City right now because Grandpa wanted to go to church, and this is a city I've actually been to a number of times for wrestling. Hello.
Hi, Father.
How you doing? Good evening. Good evening.
We're down visiting Grandpa, so we decided to bring him to church
good,
for
good.
the evening.
Well, we surely enjoyed our stay in this wonderful room, in this wonderful little town in South Dakota.
I love this trip. I treasure this part because it has made our US trip more special, simply by spending time with Grandpa Al and seeing Aunt Linda and Uncle Dennis. Dad said you saw a show featuring the Philippines as one of the dirtiest in the world.
What happened on that show?
It showed, it was like the 10 filthiest cities in the world. And Manila was the #1 filthiest city in the world.
I believe it.
It was unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I said, geez, my nephew lives over there. But, you know, I mean, there's some areas it's not, but I mean, they show such a big area, that's what they did. When we had a problem with our dish network, I call the service deal, and I'm talking to this gal over there. She sounds a little bit foreign. And I says, well, where do you live? She says, well, I'm in Manila. I'm trying to get service on our dish network here in the United States, and I'm talking to this lady over in the Philippines. It's like, are you kidding me? I said, well, I got a nephew that lives over there. His name's Travis Kraft.
Yeah, thank you for giving us a room.
Always do the best that you can in whatever you're doing. It doesn't make any difference what it is. You always try your best. That's what you need to do. That gives you the satisfaction that you desire about this life, is doing the things that you're thinking are good things to do for yourself, for other people, for your parents, for your brothers, your sisters, or anybody else for that matter. You live that kind of a life, and you'll see your master later on when you go into the next one.
Bye, Grandpa.
Okay.
He's a great, great grandpa.
We'll see you, Grandpa.
Okay, Trav.
All right.